A Japanese Yakuza family sought refuge in the Aokigahara forest after receiving alarming news that their leader, Kenjiro, was targeted for assassination. The individual responsible for protecting Kenjiro had learned that the threat originated from a covert organization known as Shadow. While Kenjiro was enjoying a moment of leisure, an assassin appeared unexpectedly and swiftly cut his throat, killing him instantly. In the chaos, gunfire erupted as his men attempted to retaliate, but they were met with overwhelming force. When Kenjiro searched for his leader, he discovered only the lifeless body of the geisha and the fallen leader. Remarkably, the assassin had escaped unscathed and proceeded to eliminate the remaining members of the Yakuza. Left to confront the assassin alone, Kiro engaged in a fierce battle that inadvertently led to the death of the geisha, catching the assassin off guard. Seizing the moment, Kenjiro managed to shoot the assassin, only to be shocked when he removed her mask and revealed that she was a woman. Just then, the lights went out, and a more senior assassin emerged, swiftly dispatching the remaining troops. After all of his men had perished, Kenjiro was left to confront another assassin, a woman who proved to be significantly stronger and more agile than her predecessor. Resigned to his fate, Kenjiro accepted that he would be killed by the assassin from Shadow. Following the raid, the senior assassin, Umbra, awakened the junior assassin, who was identified only by the code name 13. Umbra felt a sense of disappointment towards 13, as she had not maintained focus during the mission and doubted her ability to successfully complete another task. She administered a medication to 13 and decided to return her to the facility for further training while she and her partner headed to Cambodia for another assignment. Later, 13 regained consciousness in an apartment, with the medication from Umbra placed on the bedside table. She then rode her bike through the streets of Jakarta to a location beneath a bridge, where she found a public telephone. Attempting to contact the facility for instructions from Umbra, she received no response. Choosing to return to the apartment, she noticed a boy carrying his mother. That night, 13 was disturbed by noises from outside, which led her to witness the boy's mother being confronted by several men. Although she felt compelled to intervene, the scene triggered a painful memory from her past. Tragically, the boy's mother was later discovered dead in a room, leaving the boy, Manji, to mourn her loss. For the last 2 weeks, 13 had been left without any guidance on her next steps, leading her to question the situation. While having lunch, Mji approached her and requested a portion of her meal. Curious about the boy's mother, 13 inquired about what had happened to her. Mji revealed that his mother had been killed by men who visited their home the night before her death. Additionally, he mentioned that a man named Haggai had struck him, leaving his eyes bruised, as a means of comforting Mji. To help him process his grief, 13 took him to his mother's grave and later treated him to a motorbike ride. However, 13 neglected to take her medication and experienced withdrawal symptoms. Subsequently, Mji expressed his gratitude with a note, but when 13 went to check on him, she discovered the room was empty. Upon investigating the bathroom, she encountered Jackie, a subordinate of Haggai, and quickly concealed herself behind the toilet door. Jackie, unaware of her presence, entered the bathroom to search for something in M's house. He discovered drugs and cash hidden in the toilet tank, using some of the drugs to get high. At that moment, 13 emerged from her hiding spot and asked Jackie about Mji's whereabouts. Instead of answering, Jackie attempted to confront her, resulting in a physical altercation that left him at a disadvantage. 13 insisted on being taken to meet Haggai, during which Jackie revealed that Haggai was involved in a conspiracy with Ariel, the governor's son and a candidate for the upcoming election, as well as a detective named Preto Haga, whom 13 had seen on the day Mji's mother was found dead. Ariel and Preto had been friends since childhood. They arrived at Hag's Club 13, where Soraya was still searching for Mji. She was introduced to Soraya, who was Hag's subordinate and was currently engaged in negotiations with an individual named Cabal. After what appeared to be an unsuccessful transaction, Jay approached Soraya, informing her that he had brought a gift for Haga and needed to meet him following a brief inspection by Soraya. Meanwhile, 13 was left in a secured room with a computer while Sora and Jay went to see Haga. Once Soraya and Haga departed, 13 accessed the computer and discovered footage of Mji being dragged into the club. Concurrently, Jackie met with Haga, who became furious upon learning that Jackie had used his product. 13 witnessed Mji being tortured on the CCTV, which fueled her rage and prompted her to confront Haga directly. She fought off the guards and Sora and faced Haga, who attempted to attack her with a syringe. However, 13 overpowered him and killed him with his own weapon. Immediately after Haga's death, Sora appeared with a shotgun and fired at her. Fortunately, Haga's lifeless body provided cover from the shots. In response, she threw a knife at Sora and fled with Jay and a woman they encountered. 13 swiftly dispatched all the guards in the corridor. As she reached the dance floor, she was confronted once more by Sora. 13 successfully incapacitated Soraya and the remaining troops. Soon after, the police arrived, prompting Sora to escape. Jay and 13 successfully escaped in a vehicle. Fearing that Ariel and Percio might target him, Jackie made the decision to expel 13 from his car and leave her in a different location. Meanwhile, Percio was interrogating a man named Cusno, suspected of drug smuggling. At that moment, he received the distressing news of Haga's death. Upon seeing the body, Percio became resolute in uncovering the identity of the assailant responsible for the attack. Reviewing the CCTV footage, he identified the faces of 13, Jay, and a panicking Prio, who promptly contacted Ariel. Ariel advised him to remain calm. Ariel's father cautioned him that the minor issue he had instigated could escalate into a significant problem. It was later disclosed that Ariel had impregnated M's mother, leading him to send Haga to eliminate her, despite his father's warnings against such an act due to potential repercussions during his campaign. Furthermore, it was revealed that Nji was being held captive by Ariel and subjected to ongoing torture in a remote area of the Cambodian forest. Umbra and several shadow assassins were tasked with managing the aftermath of the situation, confronting defected shadow troops, one of whom was a former friend of Umbra. Their previous confrontation had ended with Umbra cornering her friend, who remarked that Umbra had once been a compassionate individual with a sense of humanity, but had since undergone a complete transformation. Umbra realized her friend was pregnant, a situation strictly prohibited for a shadow assassin. This revelation left her in shock, rendering her unable to intervene as her friend prepared to leave. Tragically, before her friend could escape that night, another shadow assassin took her life. Meanwhile, 13, unable to sleep, went to a public telephone and activated the emergency protocol to retrieve a concealed weapon. Outside, Jackie was caring for his ill grandmother while Preto and his henchmen were preparing to launch an attack. They forcefully broke down the door and held Jackie at gunpoint, demanding to know 13's whereabouts. Jackie claimed ignorance, but a sudden noise from outside drew one of the henchmen to investigate, resulting in his immediate death. 13 had arrived just in time to rescue Jackie and his grandmother. She successfully incapacitated Preto to safeguard his grandmother and earn Pito's trust. During the chaos, GA attacked 13 to allow Preto to escape. Preto managed to flee in a car, with 13 in pursuit on a motorcycle, but unfortunately, her bike malfunctioned. Meanwhile, Preto contacted Ariel, who had apparently set a trap for 13. 13 found herself ensnared in a trap and was struck by Ariel Percio, who harbored a deep-seated vendetta against her due to 13's previous actions that led to the death of Haga. In a moment of confrontation, 13 seized Ariel by the head and killed him, leaving him out of the equation. On their return to headquarters, Umbra's companion expressed disappointment over Umbra's indecision during the mission. Shortly thereafter, Umbra received intelligence that 13 was inciting chaos in Jakarta, necessitating their immediate departure to intervene. Upon awakening, 13 discovered she was shackled by Ariel and Sora. Ariel accused her of overstepping by attempting to save a child he deemed insignificant, revealing that he had impregnated M's mother, which jeopardized his father's standing as governor.
Urusan lo sama dia. Bokapnya yang perek itu nge-blackmail gue buat ngawin dia cuma gara-gara kita pernah ngewe. That's it!
Leaving him no option but to eliminate her. Just as Ariel prepared to assault 13, his father intervened, recognizing her potential utility. The father intended to leverage her for a drug deal with Cabell, promising to release Mji in return. Eventually, 13 encountered Mji, who was visibly injured and expressed a desire to share a meal with her again. Following this lengthy series of events, 13 was taken to the transaction site. Ariel instructed her to eliminate Cabell post-transaction. During the exchange, Cabell's associates tested the product and appeared pleased. After verifying the payment, 13 handed it over to Ariel, who promptly armed her and commanded her to kill Cabell. At that moment, Jackie realized Mji had perished and screamed, leaving 13 in a state of confusion as chaos erupted around her. Cabell ordered his men to eliminate their adversaries, leading to an unavoidable gunfight. Jackie intentionally opened the car door, prompting Cabell's men to unleash a barrage of bullets on Ariel's father, killing him instantly. Witnessing his father's murder sent Ariel into a rage, leading him to attack everyone in sight. He relentlessly assaulted Sill's troops until he ultimately confronted Kay. In the ensuing chaos, 13 eliminated all of Ariel's remaining forces and engaged in a fierce battle with him. Despite being unarmed, she succeeded in killing Ariel, only to discover that Sawyer was still alive and poised to shoot her. Fortunately, Jay intervened by hitting Sawyer with his car, allowing him to escape with Thur. Jay and 13 then attempted to leave the scene with M's body, but they were suddenly struck by another vehicle. Upon regaining consciousness, they found themselves captured by Umbra and her two associates, who were furious with 13 for instigating the conflict. The leader ordered Umbra to eliminate 13. Jay sacrificed himself to buy time for 13 to flee, but he was killed in the process. Determined not to waste Jay's sacrifice, 13 seized the opportunity to escape, hiding behind a pillar while freeing her hands. However, it wasn't long before she was discovered, leading to a confrontation with the Fellowship Shadow Assassins. The odds were stacked against her, as she faced a much larger male opponent, yet 13 managed to overcome him. Next, she had to confront Umbra, her former mentor. Trapped in a room, she found a way to escape to the rear of a plane's cabin. When Umbra entered the cabin, 13 used the lights to blind her, initiating a fierce battle between mentor and disciple. Their fighting styles mirrored each other, but with greater resolve, 13 ultimately triumphed by detonating a nail bomb embedded in Umbra's chest. As she looked into 13's eyes, Umbra finally regained her senses. 13 succeeded in eliminating the leader. It was then disclosed that many years prior, Umbra had been responsible for the death of 13's mother. Out of sympathy for 13, Umbra ultimately decided to take her on as a disciple. 13's true identity was revealed to be Naomi. Following the series of events, 13 laid MJ's body to rest beside her mother's grave. While she was in mourning, a group of shadow assassins, led by a woman known as 14, approached her. 14 harbored a personal vendetta against 13 and sought to eliminate her to secure a promotion. However, another individual appeared, seemingly intent on assisting 13, recognizing that she stood little chance against two adversaries. 14 chose to withdraw from the confrontation. The masked man then removed his mask, unveiling himself as Umbra's mentor, who had been entrusted with 13's care in the past.